guess the anti-smoking campaigns, like all those ads, clearly worked. Smoking was down something like 70% from where it was with the generation before us. So we were going to be the generation to kill smoking cigarettes. But by the time that we graduated high school, me and all the bros had crippling nicotine addictions. So now that I'm older, looking back on this is insane. I want to talk about how I managed to get a nicotine addiction in the 21st century. So this story starts in high school, where all shitty stories start. Back in the day, cigs were clearly cool, like on some Don Draper shit, but we were just too aware of all the negative health risks. But what I had zero awareness of was how nicotine addiction worked and that nicotine could come in different forms. My relationship with nicotine started even before they dropped the holy grail of a device called the Juul. All the older kids would always be dipping. It was just part of, and it still is part of the culture of baseball. And, as a freshman in high school, you think that the kids that are 2 years older than you are like the coolest kids in the world. And, the power that something holds when kids think it's cool, right? It was just like so into it. And I'm not trying to sound like a victim here, right? I'm just painting a picture. Because looking back, this was a performative ass nicotine addiction. Like, I liked the culture around it. I liked the idea of it. I liked how it made me look cool when I was playing baseball, but this was some chicken shit. It wasn't until the next year, we're sitting in the locker room at lunch, which is, up until that point where everyone would go to dip. And this kid walks in, he's like, yo, you guys gotta try this shit. It's called a Juul. And up until this point, we had tried all these little weak ass vapes, those little hookah pens or whatever. But vaping, if we thought that cigs were cringe, vaping was like downright sus. Okay, talk about what kids think is cool. Vaping was the opposite side of the spectrum at this point. This is like 2015, 16. So the kid in the locker room vaping would have like a big box mod. He comes in, he starts filling up his big ass vape with juice. But this was different. I still remember my first rip, it just punched through my lungs. And just a few days later, my little Skull or Copenhagen, whatever dip that I had been previously, quote, addicted to was nasty to me. Me and the bros, it was like we were hypnotized by the Juul. It's like this cultural device. And it swept through New York like a fire, dude. Like in about a month, it went from, like when we wanted Juul pods, we would go into a deli, you ask for them, they didn't even know what it was. And then it got to this point where all of a sudden there's these Juul, signs on every single window of every deli. It was like if you had a Juul, you knew ball, and we all knew ball.